Hello everyone, it's Mish here, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by, and if you are one of my returning crafty friends and truly kindred spirits, thank you for hopping on and hanging out I'm going to say this morning because I'm filming it in the morning, but whenever you are online. I am following along with the Junk Journal January 2025. The prompts are sent by Meg Journals, and I do have her link in the description box below. And I'm not able to do it every day, so I've been doing a couple prompts or even more at a time. And I am using my Christmas journal. This playlist started as the Christmas journal, and now it's kind of morphed into Junk Journal January. So if you are interested in some of the pages that we're going through and you're new, you can also find videos with this journal under my Christmas journal. And it's all in, I think it's all in Mish, Journal with Mish, I'm not sure. So the prompts today that I am going to be doing is map and repeat. So I just want to start with map. And the technique that I'm using not all of you would be able to do it, but you could do something similar with gel pens or just marker pens. But what I've done is I've printed a map out, and I initially printed it on my laser printer. I have a black and white laser printer. You can just kind of see the outline on the back. And then I put it through my Mink foil machine so that it came out embossed in gold. Now, I know a lot of you wouldn't have the foil machine, so what you could do is just take a gold embossing pen, and this is just on vellum, so you could lay your vellum down on a little map, and you could actually draw out whatever kind of map you wanted to put in your journal, even if it's a map of a place that's on your bucket list. And maybe you could draw a little bit of the country or something and pinpoint where on the country you'd like to visit. So there's a lot of ways that you could outline a map and use the map in your journal. For me, what I wanted to do, and this is like kind of freaky, is I did my map, and then I was born and I am now in Nova Scotia. But when I was just over a year old, we moved to Chicago, and I lived in Illinois, or just the suburbs of Chicago. I lived there until I was 9 or 10, and then we moved back to Nova Scotia. And then when I was in my early 30s, I moved to London, and I lived there for about 12 years before returning back to Nova Scotia. And how this is significant is I was plotting where I lived when I was celebrating Christmases. So my first Christmas was in Nova Scotia, and then I had roughly 9 Christmases in Illinois, and then back to Nova Scotia, and then to the UK where I celebrated roughly 12 Christmases, and then back. And the freaky thing is, where I've lived is actually almost a straight line. That's kind of freaky. That was kind of freaking me out. So, but what I'm going to do with the map is I was going to put it down on my journal, and I liked how the background showed through. But I also want to use this little spread here. I want to write about maybe my Christmases, what I remember of being in Illinois, kind of my Nova Scotia Christmases, and then maybe a little bit about my UK Christmases, as they were, so very different. First of all, I was a child in Illinois, and then I was, a child into an adult in Nova Scotia, and in the UK I was an adult. So it was just, that's just kind of how I thought that I would use this spread. Therefore, what I've decided to do is I'm just going to put this on a piece of just white cardstock, and I'm going to make a hinge there so that I can open up the hinge, and then I can either put a decorative paper there, or maybe some kind of a washi strip there, or just hide that in some way. With vellum, you do have to be careful. If you use PVA glue, just your white glue like Elmer's or glitter glue, it can shrink your page. As the adhesive dries, I think it has to do with the water content in the glue, it can shrink your vellum. Now that doesn't occur if you use the Fabri-Tac, and it definitely doesn't occur if you use the sticky tape, double-sided tape. So for this, I just want to make sure so my hinge is to the right, and I'm just going to center this. And of course, however you want to put your map in. But I just thought that this would add a little something. So I got a little bubble there. Okay, so I've got that down. And it came off a little bit on the bottom, but I'm not bothered by that. And then I can just put that in as a flap, and I'll have that in my journals. For this, it's a little bit of an interactive page, which I love the flips and the flops, but it also visually has that shine or sparkle. And then with the string, I just used this gold thread. I use this a lot. And I'm actually going to have to get another spool because I'm almost out. But I just got it at Michael's and ORCL. And it's just the DMC metallic thread. I find that's great in the craft room. Now to put this down, I'm just going to use some normal glue. And then I'll figure out how I'm going to... I think I want it right about there. Want to make sure I'm lining it up straight at the top as well as along the edge. Now I could come right straight out to the edge, but I'm not gonna. Okay, and I'm just gonna press that down. And in a future video, I will decorate the page more. I just wanted to get the map in here. And if you've lived in the same place your whole life, then maybe put a map of your country with where you've lived. Or maybe you've lived in the same place, but you've celebrated Christmases in different states or provinces or countries. Then that would be interesting. You know, or have you at Christmas time gone to any of the markets or Christmas markets? Maybe you might want to do a little thing of that. Maybe one Christmas you took a cruise or something. There's so many ways to add a map that's significant to you to your journal. Well, so there's my map. And then the second thing is repeat. What I did is, and this is just an old technique, an old hack, whatever, is that if you have two images, now here I have two words, but it could be two flowers, two hearts, two of anything. With this, I cut that out with my die cut, then I repeated it, so this is where the repeat comes in a different color. And then when you glue them together, you create an outline or shadow, which I feel is, I love it. Might actually put it there. And to glue it, you can just use a wee little bit of glue on the edges, and I have a little glue pen that I absolutely love. And with this, I'm just gonna put glue on the right hand side of my letters, because that's where, and you don't have to really weld it down. I like to get the tops and the bottoms for sure, but when you glue it on your page, it's going to adhere the second part. Now I do need to use my tweezers for this, and then I'm just going to get that down. And what I'm trying to do is for each letter have the same amount of border, if possible. So it will look something like that. Okay, and then I'll just turn it over, press it down, and then I can add it to a page, such as there. And I could just use my normal glue for this. My Elmer's glue will. And when I glue it down, I'm getting both of the red and the white. This glue dries clear, so I don't have to worry about it. Causing a mess. And see how effective that is? I'm going to pull that. There, trying to get that straight across the bottom. Like so. Okay, so I love that. And I've already gone ahead and have used this technique on another page as well. And what I did on that page is I cut out the individual letters with one of my die cuts. I just went ahead and I cut it out. I cut it out first in white, and then I repeated that in a different color. Now with this, it was easy to get it spaced because this envelope has a grid. And with the grid, I just made sure I was on the line and that I was trying to space it as best I could. And I really love that effect. Now I probably am going to do something more on this envelope, but there's quite a few more prompts to go. I think we're on January 22nd. And there's another week or so of prompts to go through. And as we get through the prompts, I'll work more on my journal. So that's all that I had for today. So we have my map there that I'm going to journal, maybe create something else on this page. Might put a little, just a little bit of some pattern paper here or something. I'll decorate that in some way. And then we have our repeat. So I hope that you found that a little bit helpful, that maybe it stimulated some ideas for you. And until we meet again, I hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.